I think I'm addicted
to brown-eyed boys who never had the intention of loving me,
but stayed along for the ride.
They say I loved him the same way you learn how to ride a bike,
recklessly and without hesitation.
Every time we fell off, it got messier. No training wheels, knee pads, or helmets, so I have the scars to prove it. Because loving him is an addiction.
And getting over him is a 12-step program.
Step 1.
I admit I am powerless, as if my brain was conditioned to release dopamine every time he manages
to put some warmth in his tone when saying words like baby and beautiful. His voice be soothing, like lullabies I can wrap myself into and lay my worries down while I fall asleep with him on a 4 a.m. FaceTime call. Even though he can never say I love you face to face.
Even though sometimes he slurs through a good night
because he's too drunk to be dishonest. So instead of baby or perfect, all the times he's cheated
or lied
rolls off the tip of his tongue, and he never says sorry.
Like he took a few too many lines and it left a bad taste in his mouth.
He'll say,
I drank too much.
I smoked too much. I don't know what I was doing.
Even though I've heard the same excuses
sound the same way
so many times.
I love him enough to convince myself that he won't do it again. Even though in the back of my mind I know he will. Step 2. My friends held a makeshift intervention in the back of my car after the first time we broke up. They tried telling me I'd be better off without you.
So I tried blocking your number.
Even deleted you off Snapchat. I swore I would never go back. Step 3, I went back. Call it a relapse in judgment.
Because maybe I was too quick to judge him, let my friends be the jury.
Found him guilty of cheating,
but he swears he was charged with a crime he didn't commit. Step 4,
try to get back to self-love.
When you said you never loved me, I started to convince myself I wasn't worth loving in the first place.
Let depression spin my thoughts into suicidal melodies. Started to tune out my friends.
My cries started to sound like a broken record, and I think that's where my love of music came from.
Because I never listened to Marvin's Room on repeat before I met you.
Step 5, I admit that forgiving is not healing. I admit
that actions speak louder than words.
I admit that I believed you when you promised that you loved me.
But I should have said crosses don't count.
Held my love behind your back as if it were a weapon you were saving.
Used my love for you against me. Step 6, I tried teaching myself I am not to blame for someone else's actions. You tried convincing me that it's my fault. You cheated.
That I couldn't be enough for you. How does that make sense?
They say don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Let you feed off my energy. Loving you really came back to bite me. Step 7,
I'm trying to learn what it's like to be happy again.
But do you know what it's like to be so angry that it consumes you?
My voice still becomes bitter every time I say your name.
I replaced every memory of you with screenshots. Remember the way I felt so stupid,
hurt, and humiliated. Step 8, I refuse to let you think you made me into who I am.
I set the example for a healthy relationship. I've turned my pain into poetry, power, and preservation. Step 9,
make amends whenever possible.
So when I say I'm sorry, I mean
I'm sorry. I thought you were capable of change.
I'm sorry I let you take me for granted. Step 10,
it's hard to imagine my life without you in it, because now I finally know what it's like to be happy again.
Put myself first again.
Step 11, you will never know what it's like to care so much that you lose yourself in the process.
Worry if women like me could still love afterwards. Step 12,
and I did. I taught myself to love again.
Step 12, leaving you was the best decision I ever made. I healed myself. Step 12,
let poetry be my recovery
and find solidarity in someone who shared the same story, and write a diss poem for all the girls who have had the misfortune of falling for guys who don't know what love is in the first place.
Get fresh.